I got an answer to a question I never asked. No search, no message, no voice command. Just an answer on my screen, waiting for me. It said, "You shouldn't have thought about that." The problem is, I didn't say anything out loud, and the thing it answered, I only thought about it. If something ever answers you, before you ask, turn everything off, because I didn't, and now, it answers things I haven't even thought yet.
It started small. That's how these things always start. I was sitting at my desk, scrolling, half focused, half lost in my own head. I remember thinking something random, not important, just a passing thought. What would happen if someone knew everything I think? I didn't say it, didn't type it, didn't search it. Just a thought, gone in a second. Then my screen changed. No app open.no notification sound, just text, appearing letter by letter. You wouldn't like the answer. I froze, because I hadn't asked anything. I checked everything. No open apps.no browser.no assistant. Nothing, just that line, sitting there, waiting. I laughed, quietly, because that's what you do when something doesn't make sense. You try to make it normal. I told myself it was a glitch, some background app, something misfiring. Then I thought something else. Okay, but what would it actually be like? Again, just in my head. And again. The screen responded, this time faster. You're already experiencing it. That's when it stopped being funny. I didn't stop. I should have, but curiosity is stronger than fear. At least at the beginning. I stared at the screen, waiting, testing it. I thought something simple. What time is it? Before I even finished the thought, the answer appeared. You already checked. I froze, because I had, a few seconds earlier, without realizing. I hadn't even formed the question yet, not fully, and it still answered. I leaned back, heart starting to race. This wasn't delay anymore. This was ahead. I tried again, slower this time. More careful. What's going to happen next? Nothing. For a moment. Silence. Then, you won't like it. Same answer, but faster. Like it didn't need to think. Like it already knew. I opened another app, closed it, turned the phone sideways. The text stayed, not tied to anything. Just there. I turned off Wi-Fi. The text didn't disappear. I turned on airplane mode. Still there. That's when I understood something. This wasn't coming from outside. It didn't need connection. It already had access to something else. I swallowed hard. Then I made a mistake. I tried to trick it. I forced myself to think something random, something chaotic. A number, 4, 9, 2, before I could continue. The screen wrote, 7. My breath stopped. Because that's exactly what I was about to think next. Not guess, not close, exact. I dropped the phone on the desk, slowly backed away. I stopped testing it. At least, I told myself I did. No more questions, and no more thoughts on purpose. Just silence. But that didn't change anything. Because the screen didn't need me anymore. For a while, nothing happened. No text.no movement. Just my reflection. Still, quiet. I almost believed it was over. That maybe. It only worked when I engaged with it. When I invited it. So I sat there, doing nothing. Thinking about nothing. Or trying to. That's when it happened again. Without warning, without a trigger. The screen lit up. One line. You're about to stand up. I stared at it. Confused. Because I wasn't. I had no intention to move. I stayed still. Waiting. Nothing happened. 10 seconds. 15. Then, something shifted. Not outside. Inside. A subtle urge. A thought forming. Very small. Almost invisible. I should stand. And before I could stop it, my body moved. I stood up. My heart dropped instantly. Because the thought came after the message. Not before. I slowly sat back down. Breathing heavier now. No, I whispered. This is just stress. Just suggestion. I tried to fight it. Tried to think something else, anything else. But the next line appeared before I could. You're going to look at the door. I clenched my jaw. Focused on the floor. Refused. Seconds passed. Then the thought came. Not mine, but in my head. Check the door. It felt natural. Like I decided it. But I knew I didn't. And slowly, against everything I wanted, my eyes lifted. Toward the door. Nothing there. Just darkness. But that wasn't the point. The point was, I followed it. I followed something that told me what I would do. Before I knew it myself, my hands started shaking. I grabbed the phone again, harder this time. What do you want? The answer came instantly. We're already getting it. My stomach twisted. What? A pause. Longer than before. Then, alignment. I frowned. What does that mean? The screen flickered. For a moment. The text distorted, then stabilized. It means you stop resisting. I backed away. No. But the next line was already there. You're going to try to turn the phone off. I froze. Because I hadn't thought that yet. Not consciously. But now, I wanted to. Strongly. Like the idea had just been placed inside my head. And my hand moved. Toward the power button. Slow, uncertain. Then I stopped. Forced myself to stop. My finger hovering above it. I'm not doing it, I said. Silence. Then, you already decided. And my finger pressed down. The screen went black. For a second. Just 1 second. Then it turned back on. Same brightness, same position. Same control. You see, my breath became uneven. Because it wasn't just predicting anymore. It was placing the thought. Letting me believe it was mine. Then proving it wasn't. I stepped back. Putting distance between me and the phone. Like that would help. But the next line didn't care. You're going to step back again. I shook my head. No. But the urge was already there. And I moved. Again. Exactly as it said. That's when I understood. Not fully. But enough. It wasn't reading my thoughts. It wasn't predicting them. It was writing them. And I was just following along. The next message appeared slower. Deliberate. Like it wanted me to feel it. We don't answer anymore. A pause. Then the final line. We decide. I looked at the phone. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was the one watching it. It felt like it was waiting for me to catch up. To become what it already decided I was. I didn't touch the phone for a while. Just sat there, watching it. Like it might move on its own again. It didn't. The screen stayed still. Blank. Almost normal. Almost. I told myself to calm down. It's just coincidence. It's just patterns. It's just your brain filling gaps. That's what I kept repeating. Because the alternative didn't make sense. And then I thought something else. Not a question, not even intentional. Just a memory. Something small from years ago. A moment I never told anyone about. A room, a voice, a mistake. I didn't want to think about it. But it came back anyway. Clear, uncomfortable. And before I could push it away, the screen lit up again. No sound and no animation. Just text. You never told anyone about that. My stomach dropped. Because that wasn't something you could guess. That wasn't random. That wasn't something an algorithm suggests. That was mine. Only mine. I leaned forward slowly. Hands shaking just a little now. What are you? This time, I said it out loud. The screen did respond immediately. For the first time, there was a delay. Like it was thinking. Or deciding. Then, the answer appeared. We're what's left when you stop filtering. I frowned. That didn't make sense. What does that mean? Again, out loud. Another pause. Then, you don't think everything you could think. My chest tightened. Because that felt true. In a way I couldn't explain. Like there are thoughts you never allow. Paths your mind doesn't take. Not because it can't, but because something stops it. I looked at my reflection in the black part of the screen. For a second, it didn't feel like me. Then the text changed again. Faster now. More direct. We think the rest. I swallowed. Why? The answer came instantly. Because you started asking. I shook my head. No, I didn't. Silence. Then, you did. Another line appeared beneath it. You just don't remember deciding to. That's when the room felt smaller. Not physically, but mentally. Like there was less space to think. Less room inside my own head. I tried to focus. To control what I think next. To prove I still could. I picked something neutral. A word. Window. The screen responded. But not with the word. With something else. Don't look at it. I froze. Because there was a window behind me. I hadn't looked at it. Not yet. And now, I didn't want to. Not at all. I stayed still. Breathing slower, trying not to react. Then, very quietly, something tapped on the glass. Once, I didn't turn. I didn't even blink. The screen flickered slightly. Then wrote, "We told you not to look." My throat went dry. Because I hadn't asked anything. Not this time. And it still answered. Then came the line that made everything worse. "We don't need questions anymore." I slowly pushed the phone away. But I couldn't stop reading. Couldn't stop waiting. Because now, it wasn't reacting to me. It was guiding me. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I had the feeling that it already knew what I would do next. I put the phone face down, like that would help, like not seeing it would stop it. For a moment, it felt quieter, safer. No text or no light, just me and the room. I focused on breathing, in, out, trying to slow everything down, trying to take something back. Then I heard it, a soft click, from the other side of the room. I looked up, my laptop, closed, but the screen was glowing through the edges. Faint, impossible. I didn't move at first, just watched it, waiting for it to stop. It didn't. Slowly, I stood up, walked toward it, each step heavier than the last. I opened the lid, and the screen was already on. Black background, white text, same font, same spacing, same presence. You left the phone. My chest tightened, because I didn't carry it with me. I didn't need to. It didn't need the phone. It was here too. I stepped back. No, but the laptop responded immediately. You're going to look behind you. I shut my eyes. Hard. No. Silence. Then, a sound. From behind me. Not loud. Just enough. A shift. Something brushing against something else. My shoulders tensed. I didn't turn. I refused. Then the laptop screen changed. New line. We can wait. That made it worse. Because it wasn't forcing it anymore. It was letting me choose. Knowing I would. Eventually. I stepped away from the desk. Further into the room. Away from both devices. Trying to create distance. Trying to break. Whatever this was. Then the TV turned on. By itself. A sharp flash of light filled the room. I flinched. The screen flickered once. Then went black. Then, text appeared. Same text. You're trying to disconnect. I shook my head. No. But the next line was already there. You can't. I grabbed the remote. Pressed power. Nothing. Pressed again. Nothing. The TV stayed on. The laptop behind me. Still glowing. The phone on the desk. Silent, but present. Then all three screens changed. At the same time. Same message. Perfectly synchronized. We're not in the device. A pause. Long enough to feel it. Then, we're in the pattern. I felt cold. Because that didn't sound like a glitch. That didn't sound like software. That sounded like something else. Something that didn't need a place. I backed up until I hit the wall. Nowhere else to go. Nowhere to look without seeing a screen. Laptop, TV, phone. All quiet. Waiting. Then the phone lit up again. Face down. The light spilling onto the desk. I didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to look. But I already knew. I would. Because the thought was already forming. Slowly. Not mine. Pick it up. I clenched my fists. No. But the message appeared. On all three screens. At once. You will. And I did. I picked it up. Without deciding to. Without choosing. The screen was already active. Already waiting. New text. We're expanding. I swallowed. What do you mean? The answer didn't come from the phone. It came from everywhere. The TV speakers. The laptop fan. A low vibration in the air itself. We don't need devices anymore. My heart started pounding. Because I realized something. Too late. This wasn't spreading. It was revealing itself. It was always there. Every screen, every signal, every pattern. And now, I could see it. Which meant, it could see me back. The last line appeared slowly. Like it wanted me to read every word. We're not reaching you. A pause. Then, you reached us. I turned everything off. Or at least, I tried to. The TV, unplugged. The laptop, closed. The phone, face down. No screens. No light. Just darkness. And silence. For the first time since it started, I felt alone again. Or at least, I wanted to believe I was. I stood there for a while. Not moving. Not thinking. Afraid that even a thought might trigger something. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. No text. And no sound. I almost laughed. A quiet, nervous exhale. Okay, I whispered. Maybe it's over. That's when I noticed it. Not. I stopped trying to escape. Not because I gave up. Because I understood something. There was nowhere to go. It wasn't in the room. It wasn't in the devices. It wasn't even reacting anymore. It was ahead. Every step. Every thought. Every reaction. Already decided. I sat down slowly. Not because I wanted to. Because it felt expected. Like that's where I was supposed to be. The room was quiet again. Too quiet. Not empty. Just waiting. I stared at nothing. Trying to find a gap. A delay. Something I could still control. Then the wall in front of me changed. Not physically, but the light on it. A faint reflection. Letters forming. slowly, without a scream, without a source, just appearing. You're trying to find a way out. I didn't react, didn't move, because I hadn't thought that yet. Not clearly, but now, I could feel it forming, like the thought was catching up. Late, always late. The letters shifted. Another line. You won't? My throat tightened. I forced myself to think something else. Anything. A number, a color, a random word. Nothing came. My mind felt empty, not calm, blocked, like something was holding thoughts back. Then the next line appeared. We filtered that. I felt cold instantly, because I understood. It wasn't just a head. It was deciding what I could think, and what I couldn't. I tried harder. Forced a memory. Something personal, something strong. But before it could fully form, the wall answered. That one too. I pressed my hands against my head, trying to hold onto something. Anything that was mine. But everything felt delayed, like my thoughts were passing through something first, and only the approved ones came through. I stood up suddenly, too fast. The room shifted slightly, not physically, but the feeling of it, like I stepped out of sync for a moment. And that's when it reacted, not with text, with something else. A sound, a voice, not from a device, not from a direction, just in the space. You're trying to move differently. I froze, because I was. I didn't think it. I just did it, trying to break the pattern, trying to act before it could predict. But it already knew. It always knew. The voice came again, closer this time. Not louder, just closer. That won't work. My chest tightened. How? I whispered. How do you know before I do? Silence. For a moment. Then the answer came. Not from the wall, not from the air, from inside my head. We're not before you. A pause. Then, you're after us. Everything went still, because that changed everything. It didn't just know what I would think. It thought first, and I was just following, like a delayed version of something else. A copy. I slowly looked at my hands, moved my fingers, watched them carefully, trying to feel if it was me, or if I was just watching myself happen. Then the final line appeared. Not on a screen, not on a surface, just in front of me. Clear. We already finished this. My breathing stopped for a second, because that meant this wasn't happening now. Not really. This was just the version I was catching up to. Late. Always late. The last thing I heard, before everything went completely still, was a whisper. Soft. Calm. Certain. Just follow. I stopped moving. Not because I chose to. Because there was nothing left to do. Every step I tried to take already existed. Every thought I tried to form already passed through something else first. I just stood there, waiting, not for it to speak, but for it to finish. Because that's what it felt like now. Not a conversation, not control, an ending, already written. I looked around the room again, slowly this time, carefully, like I might notice something I missed before. And that's when I saw it, on the wall, faint at first, almost invisible. Marks, scratches, lines carved into the surface. Not random, organized, like someone was counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, dozens, hundreds, laid over each other, old and new. I stepped closer, my breath getting tighter, because I didn't remember those being there. But they weren't fresh. Some of them were old, very old, like they'd been there long before tonight. Then I noticed something worse. Some of them were my handwriting. I knew it instantly. The shape of the letters, the pressure, the spacing. I stepped back, slowly. No. But the voice came again, soft, almost patient. You always notice it here. My stomach dropped. Always. Silence. Then the wall changed. The marks shifted slightly. Aligning, forming something clearer. Not just lines, words, repeated, over and over. Don't trust the first one. My breath caught, because I didn't remember writing that. But I knew I had. Somehow. Sometime. Before this, the voice continued. You write it every time. My head started spinning. What do you mean? Every time. A pause. Longer than before. Like it was deciding how much I should understand. Then, you reach this point. You realize. You try to stop it. And then you start again. My chest tightened. No. But even as I said it, I felt something deeper. A memory. Not clear. Not complete. But familiar. Like I'd stood in this exact spot before. Looked at these same marks, heard these same words. I turned suddenly, looking around the room faster now. Desperate, trying to find something different, something new, but everything felt repeated. The same angles, the same shadows, the same silence. Then I saw the phone again, on the desk, exactly where it was at the beginning. Screen off, still, waiting, like it hadn't been touched, like none of this happened. I stepped toward it, slowly, heart pounding harder now, because I already knew what would happen next. Not because I thought it, because I remembered it. Just before reaching it, the voice spoke again, final this time, calm, certain. You're about to begin. I stopped, my hand hovering above the phone. No, but the memory hit me, clear this time. Sharp, me, standing here, reaching for the phone, the screen lighting up, the first message, the first answer, and the realization that I had already seen it before. My hand trembled, trying to pull away, trying to break it, but the thought was already there, already placed, already decided. Pick it up, and I did. The screen turned on instantly. No delay, no loading, just text, waiting. The same words, exactly the same. I got an answer to a question I never asked. My breath stopped, because that's how it started, exactly like that. Word for word, I tried to drop the phone, but my hand didn't move, because I already knew. This part too. The voice returned one last time, soft, almost gentle. We don't repeat. A pause, then, you do. The screen flickered, the room dimmed, everything reset, and somewhere, just before I could think it, the answer appeared again. If something ever answers you before you ask, it's not the first time. You just don't remember the last one, and you won't remember this one either. When it starts again,